Yeah, who got that 19?
It was me. I got 19.
Okay, Albert, what happened last time?
I
Last
don't remember.
episode on Dragon Ball Z.
Last when we took photos there for like 5 minutes. Um, uh, so last time after this is after we passed out and woke up, we started exploring all the tunnels. We found out that there was a bunch of common rooms that had a lot of common gear in it. We were led by the glowing plants on the wall and found out that there were actually tunnels connecting one place to another. There was not a mirror world this time. Instead, it was just a bunch of a bunch of tunnels connecting to one another. It looks like it could have been some form of barracks or some kind, or some area where people were preparing to do something. Um, we finally, after long periods of time, Uriel almost killed the old lady. Um, Not the old lady,
Another old lady?
Mary. He almost killed Mary.
Oh, okay, okay.
When Valera disappeared. Uh, but we went on. We found some strange symbols on the wall. We tried to remove some gems that didn't work. We kept going down the hallway until we found the altar, which looked very similar to the one Valen had in his dream. And then,
We were walking upstairs, right?
yeah, I think that was it, right? Anybody remember anything different from that?
I think that was the gist of it.
Okay.
Good.
You got my character sheet, right?
Yes, and I never looked at it. Let me do that now.
So all that work I put into it.
Yep.
And
I figured I would take as long to look at it as it took you to get it to me. So we've got a couple more weeks. Yeah, that looks good, Albert. That's got the important stuff on it. That's perfect. That's what I wanted.
you mean the story that I spent
Thank you.
hours writing?
Well, that I didn't need you to move over, but I do appreciate it. It was just the personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws.
Got it.
So it looks good. Okay, so when we left off, Valen had already gone up the stairs that you guys found, and the rest of you were climbing the stairs.
Yeah. Can Bry here?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
Sorry. For Brian. Valen had already gone up the stairs!
No, you're much louder for me than I am for you.
What?
We're much louder. Him. It's me.
Alright. Excuse me. So, if Blake will get off Elder Scrolls, he'll be able to see his character. You might have to scroll to the right a little.
Zooming out all the way. Oh, wow. Okay, now I can see.
It should be just a little spot.
Oh, there you
Yeah, I can see it now.
go.
So as you come up the stairs, Valen, the walls up here are still covered with the same vines and they're still glowing around you. I put a little orange dot on your guy because I figured out how to do that, so that's your little mage light.
Okay. Am I in control now?
Yeah, so you came up here first, so you're ahead of everybody because they were a little ways back, so coming down that hallway.
And are there still vines covering the walls?
Still vines on the walls everywhere. They're still glowing right around where you are.
Okay, alright.
Okay. It's much darker up here, though, so you can't see as far. Even though the vines around you are glowing, it's not penetrating the darkness as much.
All right. I will wait here for my cohorts to show up.
Okay.
I was closest behind him. Wow,
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh no. Make sure I'm on the. Oh no, I'm on the right one.
Valera must be.
Where did it go? Oh come on. So there's Valera. So Valera, you are next. I don't remember who else was next, so I'm just gonna add tokens.
Me and Brian were about next to each other.
Mary was somewhere in there as well.
Oh yeah. Push her down the stairs.
Don't.
Duriel. Okay.
So can we continue forward?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna keep
So everybody's here.
now that I've waited a minute. Sushi bar.
What? Oh, Tegan. I was like, that's not sushi on the ground, Blake. So Amerigetta is just following right along. Mary's just following right along. Howell is snacking as he follows behind Uriel.
Wait, smacking? You say smacking?
Snacking.
Oh, okay. Can I hide?
Aren't you still stealth from the last game?
If I am, that's fantastic.
I don't remember what your stealth score was, so roll again for me.
Can someone roll for me?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Uh-oh.
14. Whatever your modifier is, I don't know what that is.
Plus, I don't know. I'm a rogue.
Probably 2 or 3. So let's just say 16.
Sure, it's gotta be. It's like, I think it's like 3 or 5. It's his bonus.
So he's got like 17.
So just go with 17.
Okay. So he's in this.
All right.
All right. So as I walk into the room.
So as you step into the hallway, you notice beneath your feet, like it's dark to the left and to the right of you. You can't really see very far, but there are vines still glowing on the walls, and there's leaves crunching beneath your feet.
Okay. I'm gonna continue this way.
I'm assuming, Brian, you're following right behind.
I am stealthily.
Stealthily following. So Brian is hiding in the leaves. It's a thin layer of leaves, and he's just trying to like roll around in them, cover his body up.
As Crunk when he's hiding from those people.
Oh my gosh.
Can I go the other way?
If you want to.
Sure, there's still this and this bigger. This leaves.
5 out of 7. This is one of my new favorite beers.
What is it? What are you drinking? What is everyone drinking?
Mine is a New Belgium honey orange true.
Oh, that sounds good.
It is delicious.
Good lord.
Its shiz is delicious. It's pretty strong. It's like 10%.
That sounds very fancy.
Why is that? Why is that funny?
Did you not see what she did?
No,
You said African and she went like this.
Albert, you're inside of me now.
Toby, I want to go the other way.
Okay. What is everyone else doing?
I'm keeping an eye on Mary.
You're keeping an eye on Mary. So Mary is following Valen because there is light around him.
I am, yes, luminescent.
Brian?
Yeah. I am also following the group, doing no exploration, just kind of getting a sense of my surroundings.
Okay.
Leave.
All right. So, Tegan, you notice that as you try to walk the other direction, the vines do not light up around you. So it is like pitch black dark and you cannot see far at all. When you turn around, you can see a light in the distance, but it's pitch black before that.
So, and if I try to touch the leaves, it doesn't glow.
No, the leaves don't glow. The vines, when you reach out and touch the vines, they don't glow. You can feel them there. They don't do anything to you. Just nothing happens.
I do.
Hmm?
Okay. I do have a bit now. I will return to the group then.
Okay. Thank you for watching JT Money. Like and subscribe for more terrible D&D.
That's me, actually. I'm JT Money. My given name. Okay, so I'm still all glowy because I'm important.
I would like to try and steal the glowy from Valen.
Do you actually want to?
No.
I was gonna say, because I'll let you try it.
Does he touch? What does he touch the flowers first?
Hmm.
No.
I still get the one with nature, you ass.
That's nature, so okay.
Agreed.
We will follow our leader of light,
I'm the leader.
which is great
Only
because
because
every
you have
single
light.
time I don't want to be in charge. I don't want to do this. Meh, meh, meh. And you end up doing it.
I don't. But
Only because you have the light.
idiots following me. Hey, I fixed it. Okay. Ooh.
My character secretly knows he's the boss.
What?
What?
My character secretly knows he's the real boss.
Okay. So Brian's character secretly knows Valen is the real boss.
Thank you.
That is what I heard.
Thank you for
That's
the
not
vote of confidence.
All right. So as you step in, oh, Mary's up here with you. As you guys step into here, a faint light fills the room. And Valen, this you feel a sense of familiarity here.
The tree looks kind of dead though.
Is that your assumption, Duriel?
Uriel doesn't say anything, but he looks at the tree. It looks kind of like it's
Give me a nature roll, Duriel.
Nature.
nature.
Give me a nature roll.
Nature
How
sucks
can you tell it is the way it is? Tell me.
because it is an aspen. You can tell it's the way it is. My nature is -1.
Yeah, but what's your roll?
A 1. A 1.
Okay.
The tree's definitely dead.
So the tree looks dead to you.
I'm gonna walk up to the base of the tree. How far can I get? Are the thorns stopping me?
No, they're branches, so they're up in the air. So this is when you step into the room, it's gigantic. It's huge. The ceiling goes up really high, and there is a full-grown, like gigantic tree growing in this room.
Can I walk?
Tegan is in the tree.
Vegan is climbing
Why
the
am
branch.
I don't want to climb the tree.
So as you walk up it, Blake, the roots kind of come up out of the ground and form almost like stairs going up to a little podium shrine looking thing carved into the trunk of the tree. So you get to the top and you are at the trunk looking thing, and it's like a big, I'm gonna draw it. Draw shape freehand. I want a brown. So it's like this. That's a rectangle. It's not like that. It's like this on the floor. And then there's branches. So this is like made out of like branches, like going all around this. Pretend this is well drawn and branches. It's wicker. Pretend this is art. And then there's two of these branches are wrapping or like coming out. So like one is coming out like this and wrapping around, and the other one is coming out like this and wrapping around. So they form almost like a spot like sticking out of it. So like if you were to look at like a side profile, they would come out like this. So there's like a placeholder, like a podium almost, sticking out of this tree. Sure. Sure. What are you checking for? What are you trying to do? So
Maybe if you didn't roll a 1, Joey would tell you something.
I might.
Like I did.
I have no control over my character.
Oh. You're just super stealth, Brian. You're stealth from yourself.
It's just an after you.
All right, you should be good now.
Okay.
All right. So you reach out and touch the tree, and it feels like bark. The tree is definitely... Sorry, I bumped the mic. The tree is definitely dead. There's no leaves on the branches. There's no leaves on the ground around the tree. You sense something off about it, though. This isn't just a normal tree. It's almost like you can sense, like when you touch it, you feel something, like deep inside yourself. I'm sticking my hand out and you can't see it on the camera. It's like you touch it.
You touch the tree and you feel something within yourself.
You feel something like deep inside, like it's almost like it's trying to, yeah, kind of, yeah, actually, in a way, it feels so right.
Can I touch it and feel something deep inside of Bailey?
Well, you're already inside of him, so. Deep throat it. Swallow, bitch.
What happened to a whole family friendly?
He's babysitting.
That's what happens. It's like trying to give a pill to your girl dog, you know?
What?
Family friendly.
You give a what to your girl dog?
A pill. You know, like something that they have to take medicine.
I heard a bill.
Yeah, hang on. Have we inspected the entirety of the tree to see if there's like carvings or anything?
I just walked up the pedestal to the pedestal.
Pedal
Kind of like around the outside of the tree.
The pedal stool, if you pronounce it properly.
Toby.
Huh? Give me a perception roll.
Here's mine.
What is your... Oh. What is your bonus to perception?
I don't think I have one.
Oh. It looks like a tree.
Alright.
Can he feel the bark at least?
Can you feel deep inside
My eyes were bothering me a little.
what?
Struggling with that? No, Brian is inspecting a tree to see if it's a tree.
Oh, okay.
It is in fact a tree, though.
He determined it's a tree. He didn't have a very high perception roll.
I was looking for carvings.
He was looking for carvings. So you don't notice any carvings, Brian. You notice that it just looks like a regular tree. For some reason, there's a tree growing in a dark cave. Or a tree grew in a dark cave, or is in a dark cave.
Exhausted my list of ideas.
Can I go grab? Can I
That's
go grab
all.
Mary or yell for Mary to come into the room?
Sweet boy. Because I forgot to move her. She was back, standing back, just observing everything. She was trying to take in the room as a whole and was sketching what she could of the tree.
Well, can I walk back to her and ask what she thinks of this? If she knows anything about this?
Okay, so she looks around the room a little bit, and she goes, "I've never seen anything like this. How did a giant tree grow in this cave? Was it moved here? Or did it actually grow inside of here? And if they moved it, how did they get it in?"
Ask Mary if she's stupid or something, and then tell her, trees grow larger.
Are we still talking about trees?
She looks at Durrell and she goes, "How many trees do you see growing without sunlight?"
Right, yeah, I mean, plants use photosynthesis.
At one point in time, there might have been sunshine in here, but it may have been caused by all the cave-ins we saw.
Like a UV lamp or something?
She looks up and she goes, "Yes, that's right. I've seen these carved stone windows that you speak of before," and then goes back to sketching in her journal. So when you look up, the ceiling is like carved stone, just like the walls all around it. This is definitely not a natural room, not a natural space. This looks man-made. And it's huge.
Why do we need the tree back to life?
Because not all of us are evil.
It's tree, dude.
And because I think it has something to do with my God said a dream about this place and he was in it.
Wait, are you telling me the tree is religious?
Telling that I
What about the tree?
What was that?
Leave it on the table.
Yes?
I just forgot to take it with me.
Which one's the real mission?
What?
To find out why people are dying, right?
This could be the cause of other problems. If this was a source of harmony or power or peace in this area, and now it's dead.
So Mary asks Valen, "What makes you certain that placing that orb in this tree will do something?"
Because I had a dream about it.
Tell me more about this dream.
So in the dream, the tree was alive, and there were gems on the branches, and the orb was sitting on the pedestal of the tree, and Sylvanus was carved into the bark of the tree.
She looks around and she goes, "I don't see any gems on these branches. Are you sure it's the same?"
Well, if the tree is dead, then there would be nothing growing on it. So
Wait, are there leaves on the ground?
no, there's nothing on the ground.
There's nothing on the ground in this room.
My thought
There's
is,
not?
There were leaves on the ground in the hallway.
we all had similar dreams, so it's one of two things. One is doing this will do something good, or the other is doing this will do something bad. So it could be that we're being led here to bring power back to something that's going to be evil, or we're bringing power back to something good that's trying to trick us. Or going to be evil trying to trick us, or good and we're trying to bring it back to life.
Did your character know that we all had the same dream?
My character?
Yeah.
You guys all, you briefly talked about your dream when you first came back to the cave with the wolf pup.
I didn't give any specifics on my dream.
Yeah, I had a nightmare that night, so I don't know anything. But I would, we're all here together. We're risking our lives. I'd really appreciate if you guys would stop being so cryptic about your dreams, if it could help us on this journey. Because if you're not telling me something, it means you don't trust me, or you've got some other kind of plan that didn't involve me.
Are you
Right.
wanting someone in particular?
Mary says, if you guys all had the same dream, this might be a sign. Maybe this is a clue about a bigger calling here. Are you all willing to share more about your dreams?
I mean, I've kind of said everything about my dream. I've basically accepted that Mary's not bad, so I don't really have much more to say. So it's really up to everyone else.
Duriel, what did you dream that night?
He stabbed an old woman.
Uriel's not
Really cool.
gonna share with Mary anything.
All right, Mary, look, we gotta have a talk. Can you go out into the hallway?
Who are you talking to? Uriel?
I can see myself.
Mary.
No, to Mary.
Who are you talking to?
Mary.
Oh, I thought you said Duriel.
That's what I thought too.
So you guys step back to the hallway.
No, I'm sorry. Not. Mary to step out. Tell you what, guys. Mary, can you go to the tree? Guys, can you come out to the hallway, please?
So Mary goes up to the tree that I accidentally moved.
That way, Mary has no exit.
So Mary says, sure, work out whatever you need to work out, but try not to take too long.
Daryl, tell me about your dream, dude. Daryl?
Phelan is taking a power nap.
Right here. So we can also see ourselves.
I'll be right back.
How was your sushi, Bri?
Because Sam was Asian.
She's definitely not. She hates sushi. It was good.
Just good.
Yeah, I couldn't get her to eat any, but it was good.
Really?
Yeah, she just won't do it.
You gotta.
She's not a really adventurous eater. She'll eat stuff off the ground, no problem, but she doesn't want to eat any kind of exotic foods.
Have you tried throwing sushi on the ground?
I thought about it, but I didn't want to waste it in case she decided not to, because I won't eat it off.
Why not get something more familiar, like what's the one
Like
that
a Western roll, something that has.
I mean, yeah.
Because she doesn't like or seaweed either. She said.
I mean, you can eat them without. Western rolls usually don't have seaweed wrapping, do they? It's usually like rice and crab and it's deep fried and.
Right. Yeah, so we looked at crab and sushi and stuff. She wouldn't do it that night. I thought maybe I can get her onto it next time. We'll see. There is a place open up down the road that's gonna do sushi burritos though. Yeah.
Sushi Ritos?
Yeah, I know. I think they make look good. They actually look good. The pictures make them look really good.
Okay.
It's not like fish and a tortilla, you know. It's.
That's what I was thinking. So.
Topgolf has something like that. That's like a gigantic. It's like a burrito, but then they cut it like it's sushi.
What are we doing in the hallway? How?
All right, Duriel, my man. Tell us about your dream.
No.
Why not?
It is something something I want the world.
I'm sorry, man.
Personal, not something he wants the world to know.
I mean, is it not similar to the dream that we all had? Is yours that different?
Yeah.
It is different. Duriel, do you feel like in any way that your dream could be important to the things that we're working on?
No.
No? Duriel, you're answering me so slow. I don't know if I can trust Yeah, I know. Yeah, that accent's jumping all over. It went deep south to Minnesota.
It's southern Scotland.
Whoa. Duriel, look, man. Balin's already shared with us his very personal dream. I
Oh
told you
no.
I had a nightmare, and that's personal to me, right? That made me look very strong, like a nightmare.
Blake, your camera froze and you were like smiling.
I know. It came unplugged somehow, and my phone died, and it's a big mess.
Sorry, Brian. I was busy looking at Blake's face. What? Sorry. Could you repeat what you just
I
said?
forgot what I was so happy about.
Yeah. Balin shared his dream, right? I mean, he's been completely transparent with us. I told you, I had a nightmare, right? That's embarrassing for me, right? A grown man having a nightmare,
Why is that embarrassing?
that's pretty personal to me, Duriel. And I'm trusting you with that information because we've grouped up here, right? I mean, I'm sleeping beside you every night. You can't tell me what your dream is about.
You haven't slept next to me once.
I want to say out of character that I think it's very brave of Howell to come back into this hallway after he had a nightmare about leaves.
Okay, I'm gonna while they're talking, I'm gonna walk towards the other end of the room. Okay, so let them talk, but I'm gonna end up over here. So you don't have to
So
worry.
as so the giant room still has like a faint light in it, but it's diminishing. Mary, you can see Mary's torch over near the tree. The light around you guys is like disappearing. It's going away. As he walks away.
My nightmare. Wait, come back. Come back, Galen, come back. My nightmare vein was I saw a druid in front of a cave, and I followed him into it. He went down and down and down through this corridor, and there were leaves all over the floor. And that's the last thing I remember because I woke up with night terrors. But I remember there's just like this, I had a sense of dread. I was worried, right? And there's leaves all over this floor. I think there's something down that hallway. And if we go down there, we should go as a group.
Okay, you guys want to? Can we walk down while we talk? Can we walk and talk?
Uh,
Are we leaving Mary?
Yeah,
Valera,
just sketchy.
how similar was your dream to Valen's dream?
It wasn't.
Do you feel like your dream could hold any keys to what we're dealing with right now?
She will share that information when she sees it as important.
How do I know that what you think is important is actually important?
Because I'm intelligent and you're not.
Ooh, roll for initiative.
Okay.
No, it's not. I thought you said that Valen was our group leader.
Who? I never said that.
I heard it. I heard you say that. Are you saying that Valen's not our leader? Are you our group leader, Valera?
We don't have a group leader.
Okay, so is this like a democracy then?
It can be whatever you think it is.
Can we put things to a group vote under penalty of violence?
Why don't you just go scour some bodies and walk down the hallway?
I don't trust you, Valera.
That's fine. I don't care.
Am I still hidden?
He just tosses out of the leaves. We're just talking to a disembodied voice.
Further down this hallway.
Doriel says, I
I need to figure out the hotkeys for this.
There you go, George.
I have a well. The problem is, it's almost like a magical darkness because I have a ball of fire in my hand. So,
Oh. I see.
and we should all have like a 60-foot
Oh, right.
dark vision. So this is not natural.
I'm being bullied in my own home.
My oh. Where are you?
Toby left me behind.
Wait.
Oh, there we are.
It's a magical darkness, and you don't have the ball of fire. Just talking to the girl stuck in the dark.
Oh,
Oops.
I'm feeling very
Toby, am I
attacked.
close? Wait. Am I hidden?
yeah.
Wait, I want to go up front. I want to go in front of them.
That's okay. You go in front of them. What are you doing? Are you looking for something, or are you just going in front of them?
Yeah, because if there's combat, I want to, see before.
You want to get caught off guard in the darkness?
I can't see anything at all.
No.
All right, well I'm hiding behind this guy.
Can we have a penalty whenever Bri asks if he's hidden?
Wait, is this all we can see right now? Oh, okay. I was like, this is.
I haven't caught up. I have to use a menu to switch between the two because I don't know the hotkeys for it. So you can move your character a little farther if you want to into the darkness, and I'll stop you if you go too far or move you.
Okay. You guys want to branch off from here, or do you want to keep going straight? Follow the leads.
Oh, is that rooms?
It looks like there's a branch going north and south.
Well, Duriel is not. Duriel is back at the tree
Right.
with Mary. That is lit by nothing.
I'm moving my character to be closer to the mouth.
You guys want to check out these rooms or keep going straight?
Let's check them out.
Okay.
Move
So I'm
not
gonna come
move
north.
fast, please.
The Lara turns into a
So you guys are going north?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Oh.
Narrow hallway.
Can the ball of fire please advance to the end of the room so we can see?
So as Valen moves into the room, the darkness it's almost like the darkness isn't here. You can see normally, like normal dark vision now.
Ooh, I'm checking the chest.
Okay. I'm just gonna investigate the room. Do a perception. Investigation check.
It'd be investigation. It's different. Valera?
I'll let everyone else do stuff first.
Yeah, tell me what you guys want to do, and then I'll.
So I see that there are beds, there's a trunk, and are those bookshelves?
Yes.
I will look at the bookshelves.
Okay. All right. And then Blake, you're doing what now? Valen's doing what?
I'm doing an investigation check on the room itself.
What are you like? Just trying to look around, get a gauge of what's in there. Give me a roll.
9.
Investigation includes your add your in. Oh, so you added your int. Okay. So you see just a number of beds. There's some bookshelves. There's the single trunk in here. The the beds are a little disheveled, but not too bad. Just like someone just threw the sheets back on top of them, the blankets back on top. The everything is dirty. It's covered in dust. Like a thick layer of dust is over everything. There's no leaves on the floor in here, but this room looks like it was carved out of the stone walls of a cave. So like the walls are like, they're not like a smooth stone, they're not like brickwork or anything like that, but they're straight. So they were definitely carved, but it was not like man-made materials or man-refined materials.
Valen, do you see any valuables?
Think like the what is the Pueblos? Am I saying that? Am I Pueblos? The Native Americans in like Mexico or around there? Mexico, New Mexico, something like that. Or is it Pueblos? What am I thinking of?
The cave people.
They're not cave people. They carved their houses out of yeah, yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm not wrong.
You're thinking of the dwarves from Middle Earth.
Less skillful, less craftsmanship than the dwarves.
Okay, gotcha.
So like a bunch of blind dwarves, and they're not carving with tools, they're carving with rocks.
Okay.
So the walls are straight.
They're
Uh-huh.
just very rough and
Yeah, they're still rough and unrefined. They're functional.
I
And
don't,
there's a door. There's clearly a door attached to the little hallway that led into this room though. And it is wide open.
I don't, I don't, I don't like this room. Can I stand out in the hallway?
You don't want to look through the books?
No, I don't like it.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand right outside the door.
Okay.
in the darkness.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look at the books.
Valen, do you see any valuables?
No, just the chest, a couple of beds, and bookcases.
Okay.
So if you want to try and open the chest, I'm gonna look through the books because
Yeah.
Valera didn't like the room.
I'm going for the chest.
That's him sifting through the chest.
So while he's gone, can I look?
Yeah, go for it.
Do I need to roll anything for that?
No, I'll just use your regular roll for it. So as you like reach out and touch some of the books, some of them are like in very bad shape. They're stuck together. They're dirty. They're frail, fragile. They're both. Why not both? Por qué no las dos? Some of the spines just kind of like crumble as you touch them. Like as you try to pull a book out of the shelf, it just kind of like falls apart. Some of the books that you pick up and open up, the pages are stuck together. The ink is faded and gone and unreadable. There's only a few books that seem to still be readable, and there's like just bits and pieces, and it's mostly stuff about nature. It seems to be sketches of like local fauna, just notes and stuff about different plants. But there's not like any like coherent, there's not enough visible words in any of the books that you pick up to form like coherent sentences or anything like that. There's not like a book that is in like great shape and still readable. But you notice that everything is written in common.
Bri, you're wanting to group for this chest.
Yeah, I want to rifle for the chest.
Oh, that sounds a lot better, Brian.
Yeah. So,
All right. So the chest is unlocked. When you open it up and you look in, there's right on the very top of the chest is an old piece of folded up fabric.
Before I grab it, can I like check for traps or anything like that?
Sure. Give me a perception check.
Turns out I have +2 perception. Yeah, not bad.
It's not as good as +3, but I'll take it.
What does that mean?
I didn't see you rolled. I was staring up at my TV where OBS is looking at the chat. um,
That's okay, Billy. You gotta monitor a lot of different things.
you don't detect any traps or anything unusual about this. It just seems like a normal old dirty trunk with a dirty piece of fabric on top.
Okay. When you say on top, you mean
Like on top of the inside, on top of the inside.
So there's other stuff in there too.
Possibly. You haven't pulled this out yet. You haven't touched it.
I'm gonna take the thing.
Okay. So as you pull it,
daintily though, with just 2 fingers.
Okay.
Make sure if there's poison or anything, I'm limiting
So
exposure to surface.
so that's good that you did that. So only two fingers get dirty as you pull it out of the trunk. It unfolds as you like pinch it and pull it up, and it's a cloak. And underneath it, you can see some like really old, like leathery looking boots, but the leather is like really worn and cracked. They don't look wearable anymore. They look like they'd fall apart if you tried to put them on. And there's just more clothes underneath that.
Okay. I would like to pack the cloak, or can I look at the cloak and see if there's anything I can tell about it?
Sure. Give me a What are you trying to like detect about it? What are you trying to figure out
I
about it?
mean, is it like, will it offer me any better protection than the one I have on right now?
Um,
Is it magical in any way? Maybe.
Yeah.
that would be if you want to see if it's magical. That'd be an Arcana check.
Arcana. Does it respond just to my calls? Does it have a name? All right, nothing there.
You don't detect anything magical about it.
All right, I'm gonna fold it up, put it in my pack. Y'all, what do we have for food? Does everyone have food? Are we good on
I got good berries.
provisions?
We have rations.
We do have rations.
I thought that we collected rations when we were at the fort, or whatever it was.
Yeah, and we all have rations in our packs. So
That's right. Okay. All right. So we don't need boiled boot leather. All right. I'm gonna put those
Boiled
out,
leather.
and sometimes you gotta eat boiled boots.
Uh, I've never had to do that.
So I've gone through the whole chest, and all I found was the cloak, the boots, and some clothes.
It's just clothing in there.
Okay. I hate to be like super specific. Should I even investigate these clothes, guys, or should I just leave it alone? I don't know.
I say leave it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I move over to Valen to see if he's found anything interesting.
No, just a lot of crumpled books about nature. That's it. So I'm gonna
Okay.
head back out and let Valera know what we found.
Okay.
Oh, Valera's like right there. Valera.
Yeah, I was just standing outside the door. I should have been able to hear.
Oh, okay. All right.
Eavesdropping from the darkness.
Do you guys want to try the southmost room first?
Let's
What about
sure.
What about Duriel? Is he killing
Oh yeah,
anybody?
yeah.
He's probably bored.
Does Duro wanna like interrogate Mary?
Yeah. Scroll back to the right, Tegan.
Yeah.
Duriel?
I want to see what Duriel is doing.
Okay, first off, I would like to check to see the tree.
Oops.
I'm gonna do a religion
Image is
check
free,
on the
I
tree.
swear.
What are you trying to check? Tell me what you're trying to check.
Whether or not it's a symbol of one of the gods.
All right, give me a religion roll then. I'll take that.
What are you rolling on?
Religion.
No, I thought you had something in your hand you were rolling on.
That's his religion.
17.
Okay, his hand.
Yeah, it's his religion. It's his hand. Um So you notice that in the inside the podium thing, there is a symbol to Sylvanus.
Hey, it me.
I asked to borrow Mary's torch to get a closer look at the symbol.
She hands you the torch.
Murder you.
And look, she watches. She watches intently. She's studying what's happening. Not like skeptical, but just looking at it. You attempt to burn the tree?
Yeah.
So she lets out a little gasp, looks a little shocked at you, and then starts scribbling notes.
Okay, so does the tree actually, is the tree affected by the fire?
So as you hold the torch up, or are you holding it up to the podium, or are you just holding it up to pieces of the tree?
Up to the podium.
Up to the podium? So as you hold the torch up to the podium, you hold it there for a few minutes, and then when you pull it back away, you can see black marks all over the inside of the podium. But it doesn't stay lit. Like, it's charred, but it doesn't stay lit, and the carving is still very visible. It's just charred where you held the torch up.
I take
Oh, I need to start my cave music again. Thank you, Blake. I don't know why there's water in the noise.
5
Remove it?
Yeah, or
Hmm.
Did y'all hear birds in the nature or something?
It's not a very good cave noise.
Okay, so they're not actually birds though.
Pretend it's a cave noise, but there's no water and there's no bat noises.
Oh, okay.
I don't hear any.
Yeah, I think it's bats and dripping water, which is good for a cave.
Do you, Albert, do you want me to like look at Duriel's inventory and tell you if anything in it might do something?
There's a specific item in my inventory that's used to channel certain powers.
Do you know the item or do you want me to look it up for you?
No, I know what the item is.
Okay, so tell me what you want to do with this.
Put it in Discord.
Text it to me or something.
Let me take my headset.
If it's something that you want to, I think I know what you're talking about. So I'm guessing you want to keep this secret from everybody else.
I guess. I don't. Here, I'll just text it to you.
Okay. Well, Tegan's distracted. She's on like Instagram or Facebook or whatever the kids do these days. Smile at cameras in the distance. All right. Howell, Valen, take your headphones off for a second. Valera, plug your ears.
I mean, it's not that bad.
In her own house, she's relegated to a single room. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the holy symbol.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to take the holy symbol out and see if it reacts with that?
Place it at the base of the tree, or place at base of the whatever.
Okay.
And see if I not only hear something from the demons, or if I get a reaction.
All right. So you take the holy symbol out and you place it at the base of the tree, and you feel it's almost like you're off balance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like nothing that you did should have made you off balance, and you didn't feel it until you stood up. And it was like it took a second. So it's not like the action of like kneeling down to put it down at the base of the tree made you did it. It wasn't timed right for that.
Okay.
So as you take it and you move it closer into, do you take it? I'm assuming you'd move it to the podium.
Yeah.
So as you move it to the podium, you feel uneasy. There is how do I want to describe this? You feel unsettled. Not like a scared unsettled, but like there's not harmony here.
Oh, okay.
You look over, roll a perception check.
My perception is probably garbage. Oops, I actually sent you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Perception is a +1. So it's 12.
Why did you send me your welcome?
It was a button. It's one of those little extra.
Oh. So you glance over and Mary is she looks uneasy. Like she almost looks scared at this point.
Okay.
And this is the first time that you've noticed that she's had a fear like this in her eyes. And you didn't notice this when when you guys were fighting with Pip and the other soldiers.
I just quickly ask her, like not like full bundle. I just like ask her what's the matter.
She looks at you and she goes, "Take it away. Move it away." And she stumbles backwards.
Do I hear any whispers?
You don't hear anything.
I attempt to channel some of the power
All right, give me a religion roll. Okay, Blake.
Religion roll. Okay. 20 plus. Oh, but I'm proficient at it. Should it be?
So add your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
Yeah, always add that.
So that's 14. That's 15.
So 15.
Mm-hmm.
So you hear almost like a pained, faint whisper. Not here.
Okay.
That's all you're able to make out.
Okay. I pick the idol back up and I step away from the base.
As you do that, the uneasiness that you are feeling starts to fade away. It fades away pretty quickly.
Okay. All right, and I guess that's the end of mine. So I'll go call Tegan back in.
Okay. Brian?
Brian there?
I texted him. Welcome back, Boo. Thank you everyone for watching. I think most of you are bots, but I appreciate it anyway. I don't get many viewers. It says 0, but when I click on the viewers list, there's like 4.
Oh yeah.
Avocado Badado, Commander Root, Electrical Longboard, and P0 Sativity Bot.
Well, one of those is definitely a bot.
Probably the Avocado Badado.
Probably. Nobody would do that.
You can't ship an Avocado Badado.
Where's Brian?
I don't know. He's waving.
Sitting right there. I see him.
He's like,
And he what?
he's sick.
Did you listen to me and Toby's conversation, Brian?
He's not going to respond now. He's going to act like he can't hear.
Yeah. Now
Because he heard the whole thing. He had it on speakers. Tegan was watching on the stream.
Yeah, okay.
not that they it wasn't really super.
You can tell Brian listened in by the way that he is.
I was listening for my name. That's the only. I could still hear sound.
Mm-hmm.
This won't go all the way down.
Uh-huh.
But no, I have no idea. Not
Are you wearing a cardigan?
me?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a house coat. Yeah, robe.
Oh.
Not a house coat.
Uh,
That's the flu.
Blake, Red Dead gifts.
It was so good.
Okay.
So we finished with Duriel and Mary's soiree. We're back to you guys.
Okay, we were back. I'm gonna move this way towards the car. Oh, I'm sorry. Moving south towards the other doorway. But before I go, I'm gonna check in with Valera and see what was going on there in that room. Why do you want to leave?
It felt like
Down that African.
it's
Orange honey.
narrow hallway with a room that seems to have been abandoned. It just felt like if something went wrong in that room that we would. So she wanted to
Fair.
be on
Okay.
just
Yeah.
in case.
Okay.
I understand the.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure there was nothing immediately that set off your hackles. So
While we're talking, tell us about your dream, Valera.
I'm gonna walk down here while Howell asks that question.
Don't leave me in the dark.
I'm gonna move down to the door and try and open it.
It is stiff. It does not open. Are you doing the stealth or not stealth?
I'm stealth.
Yes.
Wait, so if I wasn't stealth, there's a lock that you can only pick when you're stealth?
It's yes either way. I just wanted to see what you would say.
Alright, hang on. Let me. I can't remember if I have lockpicks in my kit.
You have thieves' tools, don't you?
Huh?
You have thieves' tools, don't you?
I believe I do, but I'm looking for my equipment.
You're a rogue. I think you start with lockpicks.
I do have thieves' tools, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can break in.
So I would like to attempt to pick this lock.
Okay.
What is that? Sleight of hand or?
No, it's that is I know this one.
I know some of these words.
I know this. It's there's actually a thing for it, I think. Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe
Oh,
not.
really? Okay.
Yeah, so you're using thieves tools, which I think you have not perception, proficiency in.
Oh, I don't know. Dexterity check with proficiency bonus with thieves' tools.
You googled the same thing I did. Yeah, it's the exact one I'm looking at.
I have dexterity 16, mod plus 3.
I think because you're a rogue, you're proficient in thieves tools, so you would add a +2 to that as well.
Okay. So is it 16 plus 2, or what does the 16 mod plus 3 mean?
So it's your. So it is your. You roll a d20, and then you add your dexterity bonus, and then you add your
Oh, that's right.
+2 for proficiency with thieves tools.
Okay, that's right. It's pretty good.
Wow.
Ah, yes.
All right.
So the lock clicks open, and the door swings open.
Valen, proceed.
I want to walk. I want to walk forward into the room now that it's open. Thank you for opening that door.
Oh, what's on these tables? I look at these tables.
Okay. Valen, what would you like to be doing?
I just want to do a general perusal of the room first. There's something over here, a chest. It looks like. Can I go look at that?
Sure.
I want to go look at this chest over here.
Check out for traps.
And then, Valera.
Sushi Boo, what are you doing?
Staying out in the hallway.
She has a fear of rooms.
I don't trust you two.
Don't trust us. Okay.
She doesn't trust me.
Oh. Okay. Well, go ahead. I'll.
All right, so give me a investigation roll.
It's a 0 for me.
I'll go ahead and tell you that the tables are covered in just normal. Wow. Okay. So there's 2 tables in the room. There's dusty old pieces of furniture on them. They don't look like they've moved in a while. There's like cups. There's a couple cups and plates, like they're place settings for eating almost, and there's just a couple on one table. The other table has a couple of quills and dried out ink wells with some open books on it that are very old. There's no ink on the pages that you can tell. Either it was never there, it's been faded away. If you pick up the plates and the bowls, the cups, they leave a ring. You can see like an imprint in the dust and dirt on top of the table where they were sitting. So these things haven't been moved in a very long time.
I'll pick up each and every one of them, going down the line to see if they trigger anything, or if I notice anything special about anything of them.
So not
Get my hands on it.
most of them are made out of wood. There's a few that are made out of stone, but they're like rough stone. They're not very polished. They don't look like something that would be in a wealthy noble's house or anything like that. There's no fancy gemstones, no fancy carvings on them. They're just pretty basic. The ink wells have stains. Like you can see lines where the ink was, like the ink level was, and they're near the top of the little bottles that the ink was in. But the bottles themselves are like empty, like they're dried out, like all the ink has evaporated or dried.
Oh, it's invisible ink, y'all. Anybody want invisible ink?
Because he's stealth, everything that he writes is stealth too.
You know what? I will collect the 2 ink bottles just as containers to hold things in case we need containers to hold liquids. Do they still have stoppers?
There's one stopper on the table, and it's really old and dried out. It's almost like crumbly when you roll it in your fingers.
I'll leave it alone. I'll go check out the bookcases while he's looking at the chest.
Okay. So this chest is similar to the one that was in the other room, but it's bigger.
Oh.
What would you like to do?
Hey, Balin, there's some interesting books over here. You want to come look at these real quick? I know you like to read.
So you try to open the chest, and it's locked.
I'm gonna yell for Howell to come over and look at that, and I'm gonna look. So I'm gonna yell for Howell first.
What up?
Yo, bro.
I've been here beside you the whole time. I'm really hidden.
It's your boy, Skinny Penis.
So you don't see him come over, but you hear a disembodied "What's up?"
And I go, fuck. Strangler style, and I'm gonna say, this chest is locked. Do you mind trying to unlock it while I look around the room and look at the books and see if I can find anything in the room?
I'd be glad to.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Hey, if I find anything cool, you can
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, sure. Come over and okay.
Do you want me to lockpick first? Do you want to look at the books since you didn't really get to explore yet?
Go ahead and lock the pick.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm just not watching this Snapchat. I should have saved this till later. Why am I watching this? I thought I was gonna see the cardboard. Oh wow. All right. Lockpick is 20 plus 5, right?
D20 plus your bonuses, yeah. The lock clicks open.
Cool. What's he need? Oh, wait, I check for traps.
Give me a perception check. You probably would have triggered the trap when you tried to pick the lock, but
Oh.
well,
Well, I mean, if I lift
maybe.
the lid,
Maybe.
lift the lid.
I don't know. It depends on if the lock is trapped or if the lid is trapped.
Yes.
You don't detect any traps.
All right. And lifting the lid, I didn't detect any traps.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You don't detect anything trapped about this chest.
All right. Well, Valen and I rifle through the chest to see if there's anything of value.
Okay. So you see, it's pretty similar to the other chest. There's old clothing. You see another dirty old cloak in it, some cracked leather boots. The only difference is that tucked in the bottom on the side is a small journal.
Valen,
Yo.
is a journal.
On the
I never learned how to fucking read.
Hey, what's up? My name is Jared, and I love never fucking learned how to read. Okay, I'm gonna come look at the journal and open it up.
so on the cover of the journal is a symbol very similar to the one that you guys saw in the hallway on the floor beneath you guys. The one on the wall with the gemstones in it, except this journal doesn't have gemstones in it. It's just a symbol, like, what is it called? Like, yeah, like a tree, like embossed or whatever in the leather on the front of the journal.
Okay, I'm gonna open it and see what language it is.
It is in what languages do you speak? I don't have your. It's not common.
Okay.
It's in a language that is familiar to you. You're breaking up a lot.
What language do you speak, Blake?
I speak Sylvan. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Okay. I speak Sylvan and
The Sylvan, Celestial, Common.
all of those. Celestial, Common, Deep Speech, Druidic, Elvish, Orc, and Sylvan.
So you recognize the language as Druidic.
Hello, that me.
Hey, all right.
I read the book.
So as you start reading through it, it sounds like it is like a diary, like a journal. It's just like the daily life of this person who was writing the journal. It's just what they did during the day. They tended the plants, they had a meal, they went for a walk out in nature.
Can I ascertain what sect, what their purpose was here of the journal?
As you, it looks like it's just recounting their daily life, just their normal day to day tasks.
Is there any reason I should search more into this than just like what they do on the day? Okay, I looked through the book to see if there's any mention of the tree as a root.
So as you're flipping through just random pages in the journal, you see every now and then pruning big tree. I pruned the big tree. I visited the great tree. You don't see any mention of a god's name. You don't, they don't like name the location that they're in. It mostly just, most of it is just like day to day stuff. Like today I prayed. Today I had this for dinner. Brother so and so said this to me. Nothing of that seems of many major importance. It's like they're just keeping a tally of what happened in their day to day life. It's kind of boring. But occasionally you see the great tree mentioned in there. Like they prayed to it, they visited it, they meditated in front of it, they were pruning it. And then as you're looking through, you see, you're glancing and you're on a muddied page. You can't really make out the text very well, but it says something about meditated in front of the great tree. The text gets all muddied and unlegible because it's dirty and faded. And you see what looks like Sylvanus a few lines down.
Okay, that's for me. But it's too muddy to see. Is that
It's a very faded, muddied page.
and on the next page, what am I seeing?
On the what?
On the next page, what am I seeing?
Just more regular day to day stuff.
Okay.
Today we had rabbit for lunch.
Okay.
Brother Falafel boiled it in a stew.
Hold on. Do we need to switch channels here?
Maybe let's switch.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
flip over to Bridge 4.
Go to Prison Mike. Come to mine.
Prison Mike.
Toby, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Well, we have so many problems with Natalit. I don't know why.
It's not often. It's just every now and then.
Yeah, it just pops up. But
Yeah, that's weird.
Mike's a good backup.
We should be using Vilbrin instead, or rename Vilbrin to Scratch Stranglers, because that's why I like to use mine as Scratch Stranglers.
So, can I look through the book to see if I find any mentions of the orb or gemstones?
Give me a perception check.
Yes.
I guess. Would that be perception, investigation? Do
Or reading.
Give me a literacy check. Give me investigation for that.
Which is okay. 13. No, nat 20, 24.
I wasn't ready for this.
Can I see the person's soul who wrote this?
So you skim through the book, skim through the pages, flipping through them really fast, trying to find something that says that. You're just kind of like, oh, I can't.
Sure.
You don't see orb mentioned anywhere. You don't see gemstones. You do see things like polish the pedestal, clean the pedestal. You see Sylvanus mentioned a few more times. And as you start to get closer and closer to the end of the journal, towards the back of the journal, you start to see mentions like, there are fewer of us now. I'm the last one left. On the very last page, you see it's just
Go say your ABCs again.
A, B, C, E. All right.
Perfect.
Okay, so you're flipping through the book, and as you get closer and closer to the back of the journal, it starts to you start to see more and more. There's more detail in the entries, and there's less and less just like day to day tasks like meals and chores and whatnot, and more almost like what's going on with the area as a whole. There's they start talking about there's fewer and fewer druids in the temple. The tree is withering. You see great tree withering. You see Sylvanas mentioned a couple more times, and the very last entry is I am the last one. It's just me left. I don't know how much longer I can care for this place. The temple is dying.
Do I see any remains around me, or is?
It's just a normal. It's just like the other room, except there's a single double bed in here, and there's 2 tables.
Okay. Well, that's my room. That's my run. So that's really sad. Howl.
I'm gonna
Thank
look
you,
at the
Toby.
bookcases.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna look underneath the bed.
You know what? Yeah, actually, I do. I want to look underneath the bed.
Okay. Give me. Are you still stealthed?
Yes.
Give me a perception roll.
Make him question it.
So.
Right?
So you sneakily reach out to lift up the sheets, and they're suddenly aware of your presence. You broke your stealth with the sheets. You look under the bed, and there's nothing there. It's just stone floor, and it's underneath the
But you're
bed.
saying these are magic sheets, then?
No, they're regular sheets. They just detect you now.
Yes. Yes. Put our
Sir.
keys to
Oh.
test.
Try that perception.
Kaya Dube.
The gray stuff at Disney World is really good.
This is Brad.
I want to try it.
It's very good. I think it's just cookies and cream, but it's very good.
I really want to go to Club 13 or whatever it is. But anyway,
I don't know that one. That sounds like a club for 13-year-olds.
no, Club 13 is the. Just look it up.
I'm a little afraid.
It's on a list. You'll be fine.
No, it's legit. It's on a lot of those lists where it's like top 10 places to visit that you can't visit and stuff like that kind of things.
The waiting list is like a decade long.
Oh wow.
And it's very expensive to become a member.
And it's somehow in Disney World.
Hmm.
And it's in Disney World. But that doesn't matter anymore. So let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, I wanna before we move, I'm gonna meet here with Valera and just tell her what we found. That it looks like I found a diary of the last carer of this place, who was a druid, who took care of the tree and this place in general, and he passed away alone here as the tree died.
Oh, so the tree's been dead for a long time then.
And I'm keeping the journal, just FYI, Toby. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm passing, and then I'm moving forward unless something needs to change.
Now, how do you know that he passed away?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know that. I'm sorry. I know that there was one druid left. I found his diary. He was the last druid left in this area, caring for the tree and caring for the temple. And then the entries stopped in the journal entirely. And that's all I know. I just wanted to tell you before I
Okay.
move on.
So you're gonna
Thanks for the information.
continue.
Appreciate it when my teammates share their discoveries.
Duriel does not remember that because he's not here. But Valera will remember that.
Okay, I'm saving that. I'm saving the journal in my list of stuffs. And then I'm moving forward. Valera, do you have anything to say about that before you flick us off? More?
No.
Howell doesn't see that because he's stealthed right now.
Okay, I'm gonna move forward.
We can see him. He can't see us.
That's. Yes.
When you stealth just a little too hard.
Wasn't that a
Osh.
Uh-oh. Howl, you gonna follow us?
I am. You just can't see me.
Okay. Okay, this is my problem. This is why I never finished Skyrim, because I went down every little
Yeah.
avenue. Do you guys want to go down this hallway or follow the stupid leaves?
Look, man. Hallways equal treasure, so I'm fine with doing all the hallways.
I'm gonna keep following the leaves because I want to get somewhere tonight.
All right.
Oh shit! Damn it!
I think maybe Toby intended for us to
Oh,
like blaze through all the side rooms.
So as you get to this area, Valen, the ground starts to slope up.
okay.
And you almost feel like a slight breeze coming from behind you.
Y'all, this
Behind
is.
me.
Wait. Can I talk to Valen only? Valera and well, wait, I don't want you to know, but
Do I look like I'm gonna step away for
in in
Barb?
in my dream, I'm just gonna whisper in his ear. You don't get to know this.
All right, mute yourself, Valera. Mute it. Mute it.
But I don't really care. In my dream, I walked down a slope and then found the leaves. So I think this is an exit to the area that I entered in from my dream.
Okay, so then in that case, we probably don't need to go up that way. So
Not
let's
yet.
explore these rooms.
Yeah.
Do we want to go get Duriel before this, or do you want to just go? Because
I
Duriel has been there a long time by
I,
himself.
I would like to bring Daryl and Mary, the old lady, back this way.
Yeah, Mary's been dead for.
Mary's in her 30s.
Do we have to walk all the way back?
So as you guys stop up here and are discussing this, you start to see a light behind you. Like
behind
where you came from. There's like a faint light moving forward, but you can't tell what it is yet. It's not close enough.
I'm not sure.
Where is the light now?
It's getting closer. It's moving down the hallway towards you.
Is it further than the rooms that we just explored?
It is like between you guys and the rooms that you just explored.
I'm gonna move towards the light then,
Okay.
because it's probably the druid who wrote this stupid diary.
So as you move closer and closer towards this flickering orangey ambery light, you see Mary and Duriel show up in the hallway.
Guys,
Oh, there we are.
hey, how's that tree I left back there? Is it okay?
Mary looks a little scared.
What happened to my tree, Mary?
She kind of looks at you guys a little bit, and then she goes, What have you guys found?"
Wait, did she not answer my tree question?
Mm-mm.
I'm sprinting past them towards the tree.
I stand to Mary's left and then tap on her right shoulder.
Towards the tree.
She is unfazed by that. Okay, so Valen is back at the tree. So you see burn marks around the little pedestal on the tree.
Son of a bitch.
I shout down the hallway.
Okay, do I roll a perception check for this to make sure everything's okay?
What are you trying to check?
I'm trying to ascertain why there are scorch marks on my tree.
Give me a perception roll. Like if you're trying to find out if the tree's still alive, I'm pretty sure it's still dead.
I'm trying to find out if there's any lasting damage done to the tree past what was already.
Yeah, give me a Give me a nature roll. I don't know. Give me a. I'd roll something.
You can do nature, you can do religion, you can do.
Don't do religion.
20
Holy crap, Blake!
on my nature.
What is? Oh man. Using all your nat 20s.
Next session is all
Use it
gonna
on
be
purpose?
Next session is gonna be all nat 1s. So you look at the pedestal. The surface of the bark is burned, like it is charred, and the charring seems to go deep. But the carving of Sylvanus, the pedestal itself, nothing has changed about it. It's just like it's a different color. It's almost like it's just charred wood, but it's still exactly the way it was before. So it's not like any of it burned away. It's not like it deteriorated. It doesn't crumble under your touch. It's not. It's not behaving the way that wood that has been burned would behave.
Okay. That's all I see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start walking slowly back towards the
Actually, you also see around the base of the tree a small imprint. Almost like something hot was placed there.
Okay.
It's not charred, it's not burned, it's just like it left a mark. Almost like branding, but more subtle.
Can I kneel and inspect it?
Sure. Give me a nature check for that one. What are you trying to? What do you?
My nature check.
Oh, yeah. So that's it. That's all you can really ascertain about it. It's like a small object. It wasn't there. You didn't notice it before, but it's like a small object was just placed there and then removed. Almost like branding, like a calf or something, but like someone branded the tree, or put something that was scalding hot down and picked it back up, or I don't know.
Can I check the branding with Arcana or religion? Which one would you prefer?
What are you trying to find out?
What was branded into my tree?
Or are you trying to ascertain if it was magic or if it was religious in nature?
Yes, either.
All right, we'll roll for each. Yep, just roll for each. Tell me which one is which. Tell me now and then roll.
Sure. I'm gonna do my magic first by Arcana.
Okay.
8.
All right. Give me your religion roll.
My religion is 6.
Okay. Um, you don't sense anything inherently magical about the burn or the mark itself. When you touch it, you feel almost like a tingle, but that's it.
Okay.
It's faint. You're almost not sure that it's there.
Okay. It's more like an intuition type thing.
Maybe. Like if you stopped and started thinking about it, you start wondering if you felt it at all or if it's just in your head.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna start walking back. Then they can start talking.
So can we, since Mary has the torch, can we explore one of the rooms?
In the hallway.
So, oh yeah, so you're not back yet.
No, that's why I stayed in the shadow.
Gotcha. So where do you want to go, Valera?
There was the next room to the north. If we hadn't, I'm like somewhere over here in the shadows. I can't see where I am. There was another room up to the north, wasn't there?
Yes, there was one. So there was one to the south and two to the south and two to the north.
So we'll go to the one to the north if Mary will.
So here?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Do I still have the torch or does Mary have it?
Mary has the torch again.
While they're exploring, I'll be right back because I can't hear this anyway. So.
I'm not going to move. Okay, I'm not going to move Mary with you. So I'm just going to pretend she's with you. So you're moving down this hallway?
Yeah.
Alright, so only a tiny bit gets revealed at a time. So at the end of this hallway, you see a grate in the floor, and it goes down into darkness.
Okay. Can I crouch down in here if there's anything coming through the grate? Any sound?
Give me a perception check.
Which is a
Perception is wisdom. So you'll add your wisdom modifier, and then if you're proficient in perception, you'll add +2. Okay. You don't hear anything coming from the drain.
Do I notice anything?
There's no wind moving. There's no noise coming out of the drain. The drain itself is dry, so it's not like it's a water drain, or if it is, no water has been through here in a long time. It's old and it's kind of rusty.
Are there any stones around that I could drop something down to see how deep it is?
You could pick a little piece of the wall off.
I will do that.
So you drop it down. It clatters against the grate as you drop it through. But then it takes probably about a minute or two before you start to hear a faint clack, clack, clack of it bouncing on stone beneath.
So it's very deep.
So it's fairly deep, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else on the walls around?
Just the vines.
Okay.
Let's go south. Through that other entrance.
The first one
Yeah.
that you guys started down, that Blake started down?
Yes.
Okay.
The door. Can I try and open this door?
Mary, come this way.
Mary's with us. Toby's with us.
Yeah, I'm just lazy. She's right there. She's stealthed with you, Brian. Alright, so you try to wiggle the door. It budges a little bit, but doesn't move much. It's like it's stuck.
Can I try and force it?
Try to what?
Force it?
Give me a strength roll.
Oh, 5.
It doesn't budge much. It just kind of moves back and forth from the position it was in and the position you pulled it to originally. It's almost like there's something stopping it from moving.
Did we ask if Howell will try to pick a lock? Is it meant to be locked, or does it just need to be like there's something holding the door closed?
I mean, it's moving a few inches, but it's not moving much farther than that. It's like it's bumping into something.
Can somebody else try a strength check? It's not me because I have 0 strength.
Does anybody have telekinesis?
Mary says, "What in the world would you use that for?" Mary goes, "That's an odd use for it, but I'll try."
Oh, she's gonna do it. Okay, great.
Actually, I can do it in chat, can't I? How do you guys roll dice?
Top left-hand corner, hit the dice button.
There's a dice button?
Yeah, it's the fifth.
Oh, I see it. I never used this.
Die. Nine.
So Mary goes, whatever's back there feels solid.
Maybe we shouldn't be bothering with this little move. Or
Or maybe there's another entrance to the door behind one of the bookcases in the other room.
You can literally see Toby thinking.
I'm not with you guys.
They're trying to open this door and it's not budging a little bit. So they
He's still not there with you.
I'm still not there.
oh, never mind.
He can't metagame. He's being a good player. I ought to give him inspiration for that.
What was the hallway? The next hallway is that to the west?
So you guys head that way?
Oh, it's the
No,
stairs that lead out.
No, there was another hallway.
Oh, the hallway. Okay. You want to check that out? Did Mary? Mary, did you
I'm
try
still
to move
walking forward. I should be about
the
here.
object with intelligence?
You could be caught back up. You could be
Yeah, I just shouted in the
coming
hallway,
in.
I think you would like pick up your step a little bit.
Yeah, I maybe there. Maybe there.
Maybe there.
Is that another? I thought you said there was only one to the north.
There were two to the north and two to the south.
Yeah, see, right here. Yeah, right here.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll go up to the hallway, or I'll go up to the hallway to meet Valen walking back.
Okay. Are you stealth or is that just howl?
what?
Are you stealth as well?
Why would I be still?
Okay.
Oh, that's what
Aren't you
Toby's
a thief?
I do everything with purpose. I don't need to hide from
Whoa. Whoa. Shots fired.
He completely ignored me, so it's fine.
Okay.
He's still ignoring me.
So Valen is back with the group.
Okay. Are we going north?
You guys want to check another hallway, you said?
Wait, is everyone in the group? Is everyone in the main hallway now?
What were the results from Mary attempting telekinesis on the object behind the door?
She said it felt solid.
Okay.
Like it couldn't be moved. She couldn't move it.
Mary.
She's back in the hallway, so she came in right after Valera.
I'm talking to Mary. Mary, why is Sylvanus' shrine burned and a brand in the base of the tree?
She goes, I don't know. Duriel was inspecting it, but that's all that I saw. I turned when he was inspecting the pedestal.
Why?
This may have been the first time that you saw it.
What?
We didn't inspect it last time.
I inspected the pedestal and
It'll,
it was not burned. Why is it burned?
I don't know.
I inspected it too, actually. I was looking for carvings. I didn't see anything like a burn.
Or a sigil in the base of the tree?
I didn't say a sigil,
I'm sorry.
just a mark, like a shape. It was almost like it was discolored. I don't even know if I would go so far as to say it was a burn mark in the base.
What the fuck did you do to my tree? Let me put it bluntly.
So as you guys are standing here in the hallway arguing, you feel a breeze come through, and it blows the leaves, and it blows them away from where the tree is.
It's like a tingling feeling.
No, it's more like a breeze blowing the leaves away from where the tree is.
You don't get like a tingle up your back when you get like a nice breeze, you know? You could feel it.
Ariel, you and I will talk about this later.
Can I
Can we go down here?
clue in
clue him in on what happened?
So there was a hallway. There's a hallway up north
Uh-huh.
that we went to, and there was a grate at the end of it. And I dropped something down it to see how deep it was, and it was very, very, very deep.
Okay.
Otherwise, there was nothing else in that hallway. The hallway to the south that we just came from is a blocked door. It's not locked, but it can't. We've been having trouble forcing it. So
Okay. Okay. And then what's the plan next? What do you guys want to do next?
Either north or south. Next hallway.
Duriel and I are over here near the south door.
Okay. Well, I am very suspicious at this point. I'm staying away from Mary and Duriel.
Staying away from me?
Valen, can I borrow your ball of fire?
No.
I need to see. I need to explore these rooms.
You should have a torch in your pack.
Do I?
Yeah.
I light my torch.
The area around you lights up. Just a little bit. About as much as Mary's torch was lighting.
I ventured down this way. I'm a thief, not an adventurer.
Oh Lord. Oh, that's so good. Okay.
Please don't tell me you have a high wisdom.
I don't believe I do. Yeah, 11 intelligence, 11 wisdom. I'm about middle of the road as you can get.
There's a door right here.
So there's a door in front of you. Howl.
I would like to try to open this door.
Okay. You open the door.
Duriel, come look in this room real quick.
Duriel shrugs and walks forward.
What?
He said, "Daryl's right the Wi-Fi."
Yeah,
Oh, Duriel shrugs and moves forward.
alright, Duriel, let's check out these tables. So we're investigating these tables.
All right. So the tables are very similar to the tables that you saw in the other room. They're made out of wood. They have dishes. They're seats.
Duriel, there's nothing of interest in here for me. You want to check them out while I go to the other room?
I rolled an 18.
Excuse me.
15, though. Actually, wait. Is it perception? Then it's just.
It's investigation.
Oh, investigation. That would be 14.
You have a -1 intelligence?
Yeah.
Huh.
He tried to set my tree on fire.
Can't be that smart.
No knowledge.
Valen's not in the room right now. So, Duriel, everything is covered in dust and dirt. There's dishes. There's basic, simple dishes on the tables. You see, like, what?
What?
What is happening?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Those weren't words. It was like you barked in high pitch.
He's got scorch marks on 5 trees.
So you see, like, very simple cups, very simple bowls, very simple plates on all of these. It's like they were used to eat. They're almost like they're set for eating. They're not like neatly and formally set out or anything with like the forks on the right and the salad spoon on the left or something. It's just, but there's dishes. Yeah, it's like a meal hall, but everything is covered in dust and dirt.
I pick up one of the bowls, look at it, and drop it on the ground. And I go, oh shit! It actually broke.
It's wooden. They have wooden bowls,
Oh, sorry.
so it
Alright, keep going.
it clatters. It clatters across the ground and cracks a little. There's a little ring, little like a circle of less dust on the table where it was sitting. That's it. That's all I got for you.
I walk and rejoin everybody to the north.
Okay.
Wait, can't we? If like while they were in the room, were we just standing there waiting for them to join us?
What did you guys? What do you want to do?
Can Valen and I go up in that room while they were doing whatever they were doing?
Sure.
I'm going because I want to be as far away from them as possible at the moment.
With that.
So you get to the end of the hallway, and there is a grate, like a gate almost. Like, do you remember the gate from the one down below?
Yeah.
It's very it's almost exactly like that.
Okay, so we can see through it, but we can't reach through it.
You can see through it. You can't reach through it. You can't reach whatever's on the other side. You see like a sarcophagus.
Can I look like through the bars and up? Is there a way into the area from above?
Like you can see, and it just looks like the roof of a cave, just like it does on your side. It doesn't look any higher. It doesn't look any different.
Sure.
Okay, that's perfect.
It's like these bars are installed like in the stone around you guys.
Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to know. Okay.
Is there anything else in the room, too?
Just the sarcophagus.
Is there anything special about the sarcophagus? Like, what does it look like?
Well, it looks like a sarcophagus, and it's in a room that is designed to either keep people out or to keep it in.
Ooh.
From the looks of things,
What does the sarcophagus look like?
it
What does an average one look like?
it has a crude carving of a humanoid figure on the top. Like the lid is carved like a humanoid, but beyond that, it doesn't look like anything special. There's no intricate carvings. There's no details. There's nothing to signify who or what this might be.
So it doesn't look like it has any jewels or anything expensive.
It's just stone. Just looks like stone.
And there's nothing like scripted on it.
No, what?
Inscripted?
Inscripted. No, you don't see any inscriptions or anything. It's you see stone all around you. You see the bars between you and the sarcophagus, and then you see the sarcophagus.
Can we check to see if there are any like bindings on it or something to keep it like magic seals on it?
Give me an Arcana check.
Well,
You don't detect or feel any magic.
and I asked Valen if he feels any magic.
Okay, do you want to roll for that?
Sure.
Boy,
Roll for it.
For is it inspection or arcana?
Arcana.
Which is +2. 5.
You don't detect any magic either.
okay.
You hear a bowl drop in the distance.
Okay. I'm satisfied then.
Hey guys,
Hello.
Oh, hello.
what are you looking at here?
A body
A body?
and sarcophagus.
Hey guys.
Have you detected magic yet?
Why no? We have not.
Oh, I'm gonna take care of that real quick. I'm gonna detect magic.
Here we go.
Howell, give me an Arcana check.
Hey.
You also don't detect any magic here.
Can I attempt to remove the old rusted bars?
Sure. Give me a strength check.
Here we go.
Duro, before you do this, when was the last time you got your tetanus shot?
A long time ago.
Well,
Too
I don't
close to
care.
me. What? 22.
Holy Lord.
Alright.
Toby's like, I don't want him to go in there.
So So, Duriel, you grab the bars and you pull. You pull super hard. They don't budge at all. You are certain at this point that they are deeply embedded in the stone around them. That they are very thick. Despite looking rusted on the outside, they're still very, very solid and are not going anywhere.
We should leave. All right, let's go up these stairs then.
I'm poke the sarcophagus with my axe.
Do you want to?
No.
I'm gonna walk back towards the main entrance. Like, Toby, I've lost control.
What did you click the select move tool?
Sorry.
What happened?
What's that Corel thing?
Which one?
The bowl thing. He wants the bowl.
Oh, the bowl thing. Oh shit! It actually broke.
Sorry.
I'm gonna walk up the stairs. I don't.
Mary, come here.
know what I'm talking about.
Come here.
I'm not a dog, you disembodied howl.
Glad you enjoyed it. Oh lord.
Alright, so you guys go up the ramp, the slope, the tunnel. Alright, so as you travel up the tunnel with Valen, the light stays around him except for where your torches are. But just like down here in the hallways, there's like the vines and stuff are like lighting up. They're like blooming, lighting up around him and lighting the way. You don't see any more hallways off to the sides. It continues, the slope goes up for a while. It goes for a long time, and as you start to get closer and closer to the top, you think that you hear forest noises. I thought I had a forest noise thing. Oh,
No, this is like exactly my dream in reverse.
that's not a forest noise.
Definitely not my dream.
Do I have a forest? I thought I had a forest.
Tell us more about your dream, girl.
Yeah, your dream was to set my tree on fire.
How do you know I set the tree on fire? You don't know who did it yet.
Mary won't answer me.
Yeah, because Mary's the one who did it.
We are a house divided.
All right, so the tunnel finally starts to even out, and you hear the forest noises getting louder, and there's like a faint, subtle glow at the end of the tunnel.
Can I try to set it on fire?
I'm just gonna continue walking forward.
Do you want to set it on fire?
No.
The tunnel, the darkness, your comrades?
I don't know if our entire party is gonna make it to the end, guys.
So as you travel to the end of the tunnel, you get up to the light and stick your hand forward where the light is, and you see there's vines right there over between you and the rest of the light.
Can we push the vines and
Part them.
You part them and light spills into the tunnel.
Could have set them on fire.
Just outside, you see a forest.
is this forest similar to the forest that we walked through originally to get to the cave?
It looks very similar. So do you guys step outside into the forest, or are you still in the tunnel pushing vines to the side?
I'm staying in the tunnel.
I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna stealthily make my way down through the vines.
Okay, so nobody sees Howl sneak through the vines. No one's sure how he's skinny enough to get through them. So Valera and Howl, as you guys step outside the tunnel, there is a large stone to the left of the entrance.
Ooh, and I bet you it has a symbol on it that is similar to Duriel's god.
Do we want to actually look and see if there's a symbol on the rock?
Yeah,
So, Howell, as you step around the rock to the front of it, you see a symbol on the rock that you remember.
And it's Duriel's god, and it has an inscription underneath it, and it says, Duriel, on entrance to this cave, you must burn down the tree.
It is not. It is not Duriel's god. There's no inscription. It is the same symbol that was in the podium.
It's the same symbol from
In the pedestal podium thing.
No, it's just the
Sylvanas.
Yes, the symbol of Sylvanas.
Is there any inscription on the stone?
There's no inscription. You see Howl carving stealthily into the side. Duriel, burn the tree. His stealth was not as good as he thought it was.
The words are disappearing. I don't even know. Is there anything other than the stone outside of the cave?
Just trees and normal foresty stuff.
So is there like a path?
Not really.
Do we want to see, does anybody, Valen, do you want to see if there's footsteps leading in or out of this with your nature?
Do you want to use my nature roll?
With nature?
To what?
To figure out if there's footsteps or
I mean,
a track.
everything looks fairly undisturbed, but I can check.
Give me an investigation roll.
Sure, I can do that.
So not nature, but investigation.
It's the same plus, so that's fine.
You're not proficient in one of those? Or are you proficient in both?
I'm proficient in both.
Oh, fancy boy.
22.
Okay, so
18.
some of the you said it, and I saw the 18 and thought, man, he must have had like a +4 to that.
18.
So you notice that some of the grass is a little trampled, going just almost straight out of the entrance deeper into the forest. There's some broken twigs and stuff.
Okay, so it could be that Pip left this place.
Oh. In that case, we need to follow these trails ASAP.
Well, why would you think that if you're trying to burn down my fucking tree?
I never said I was trying to burn down your tree.
Everyone knows you tried to burn down the tree.
Yeah, it's not a secret, man.
It was Duriel or Mary. They were both back there.
Mary won't answer me.
I think we know why Duriel hasn't caught on that we all know. What's his intelligence level? Has anybody caught that out yet? I know it's a -1, right?
Throttle Howl.
So do you guys follow the tramplings out further into the forest?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody give me a perception roll.
Okay, it's a +4. Hold on.
Perception plus 1 for me. Okay, first roll is mine.
9, 16.
16.
What is your bonus, Howell?
Perception is 0.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's 2, isn't it?
Are you proficient in it?
Oh, it's 2.
Are you proficient?
And perception?
Yeah.
Can you be proficient in perception?
Yeah.
How do I tell?
Absolutely. It should be a black circle.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. The skills, right? Not
Yeah.
the. Not okay. Yeah. So it's just +2. So I have a 18.
Okay.
18. Nice.
So 2 18s, a 16, and a 9.
Plenty.
Okay. So as you guys step forward, you get not even 5 or 10 feet in. You see peeking from behind a tree a boot on the ground.
I will kill Pip.
Ooh, a boot on the ground.
You were
Like it's laying on its back with the toe sticking up.
Alright, I'm gonna
But everything beyond the cuff of the boot is obscured by the tree.
Let's maybe don't grab the boot, but
I'm
work our
gonna
way around the
rapidly
tree.
investigate.
Yeah. I'm gonna swing wide. Can we see it?
Can you see it? I mean, you can walk around the tree and see the boot. Oh, no, I don't have a map for it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna swing wide around then to get a better angle on Valen and his approach of the boot.
Baby boy.
I'm running straight at it. I'm not going around. I'm going straight towards the boot.
He's still emotionally distraught right now. He's not thinking straight.
Valero will follow.
Oh, Mr. Goodman.
All right, so as you guys move around the tree, you see a body on the ground.
Is it Pip?
It is not Pip.
Do we recognize the body?
You do not recognize the body.
Am I still hidden?
Dead?
It's not moving.
Okay, can we check to see if it's dead?
Sure. Would you like to check to see if it's dead?
I would like to check to see if they're dead.
Howell, why aren't you looting the body yet?
Has anybody checked to see if it's dead?
What is your wisdom bonus, Valera?
Yes, escape from him.
Okay, my passive wisdom is 13.
Okay, yes, that's fine. So, Valen, you step up and you look at the body. It is definitely dead.
Are they? Can you describe this individual?
So he is dead. He is wearing some pretty they're, fairly fancy clothes, but he doesn't look like he's equipped for like long distance travel or anything like that. He is carrying an instrument case with him in the shape of a lute or a violin or something. It's got a large body and then a long neck. A decent sized neck. A lute length neck. And he has been stabbed a few times. He's pale. Looks like the body may have been here for a little bit, but not terribly long. He's not like decomposed or anything, but he's definitely cold and stiff to the touch.
Can Valera check the instrument?
Sure. So you open the instrument case and pull out a lute. It is missing its strings, but you see a small carving of a heart in the lower back side of it.
Valera's going to take it with her.
Okay.
Does she? And you said that they don't recognize.
You do not recognize the body.
Is this a human or is this an elf?
It is it looks like a human. Looks like a male human, probably in his, not old, probably in his late 20s. Mid to late 20s, maybe.
Can I attempt to identify whether or not stab wounds are similar to the soldier that was left dead when we fell on top of him?
Give me a medicine roll.
Oh, yeah. Someone else might be better suited for this role.
I have a +3 to medicine.
Give me a medicine roll if you want to check this.
I've got a +1. You want to go ahead and do it, Gwen?
Yeah, but I've used up all my good rolls. So
Let's get that 20 again.
18. I lied.
Oh my god.
19.
19.
So the stab wounds are kind of similar. They were clearly done with a smaller blade, so not like a sword or anything. Probably a knife or a dagger. But based on the stiffness and the coldness of the body, it is much colder and stiffer than the body of the soldier that you guys left behind. So it seems like it's probably been here longer.
I try to look in the surrounding areas to see if there's any more broken twigs or any indication of a struggle or
Give me an investigation check.
trail of blood or anything. I got a -1. So, oh god. So it's a nat 20.
Wow.
But it's a negative.
Wow. All right.
So you see, not far from the site of the dead body, just a few feet away, There is a bloody dagger on the ground, and underneath it is a flyer or a piece of paper.
I pick up the piece of paper and read it.
The piece of paper is a flyer, and it looks like a posting or an advertisement or a listing for the Oh, I should have had a name ready. Oh my gosh.
The left hand is dark.
No. Like a band name.
No.
The trebles.
The three bases.
You see a flyer, and on the flyer is a base instinct. Oh, that's good. I'm not using that. That's good though. That is good. I'm gonna remember that. The DM will remember that. You see a flyer for the double trebles,
Ooh, okay, that's good. I like that.
and that is where we're gonna end it tonight.